Hello and good morning, everyone. After last night and realizing that several people were having trouble with phonics and language page 289, I was trying to come up with a way that I could do a video for you where I could mark the sentences and you could do it with me. So that's what I'm going to try to do. The best way to do this is to do this one direction at a time. So I have my book right here and I'm going to read the directions one at a time, and then we're going to do one sentence at a time. On number 1, it says read the sentence, draw 2 lines under each verb. Okay, so our first sentence on the page is Ben quickly ate the red apple. We're going to find the verb. Remember, a verb is an action word. So it's something that you do. In this sentence, Ben is doing what? He's eating. So we're going to underline ate 2 times. All right? The next direction says, draw 1 line under each subject. Remember that some sentences can have more than one subject. So you're going to think a subject is who or what the sentence is about. This sentence is about Ben. So Ben is our subject, and we're going to underline Ben 1 time. Okay? Number 3 says, find and draw boxes around all the nouns, even the subjects. Remember that a subject is a person, place, or thing. So we're going to draw a box around Ben, which he kind of, okay. It doesn't have to look perfect. And then we're going to keep looking. Is quickly a person, place, or thing? No. Is the a person, place, or thing? No. Is red a person, place, or thing? No. Is apple a person, place, or thing? Yes, apple is a thing. Apple is a noun, so we're going to put a box around apple. All right, we're going to move to our next directions, which says, look, this is number 4, look at the nouns and draw a circle around each adjective. Draw a small arrow from the adjective to the noun it describes. Okay, so you put a box around your nouns. Now you're going to look at those words that are inside the box and see if there's an adjective around those. Remember, adjectives are words that tell about nouns. So let's look at our first one, Ben. Are there any words telling about Ben in our sentence that tell what kind or how many? No. So we're going to move to our next word in the box, which is apple. Are there any words that say what kind of apple or how many apples? Yes, red. Red tells us what kind of apple, a red apple. So we're going to circle our adjectives, and then you're going to put a small arrow pointing at apple. What kind of apple? A red apple. All right, let's move on to our next number, which is number 5. It's the last one. Look at the verbs and draw a circle around each adverb. Draw a small arrow from the adverb to the verb it describes. Okay, so now we're looking for adverbs. Remember that adverbs answer the question how. The easiest way to find the adverb is to look at the verb. Remember, our verb is underlined 2 times. It's ate in this sentence. So you're going to say, Ben ate how? Quickly. So in this sentence, quickly is our adverb. So we're going to circle quickly, and then we're going to draw an arrow pointing back at the verb, which is ate. Ben ate quickly. And that is your first sentence. Let's move on to our second sentence on page 289. Okay, let me straighten this just a little bit. Okay. The small boy said the Bible verse perfectly. Okay, I'm not going to read the directions every single time. I'm just going to go through them to save some time. So the first thing it told you on number 1 was to find the verb. So the verb in this sentence, the action word, what is the small boy doing? He said. So we're going to underline said 2 times. All right. The next thing it said to do was to find the subject. The subject of the sentence says who or what the sentence is about. So this sentence is about boy. So we're going to underline the subject 1 time. The next direction said to find all of the nouns and put a box around them. Hang on, I'm going to move this just a little bit. Okay, so you have to find all the people, places, or things. Boy is a person. So we're going to put a box around boy. Verse is a thing. So we're going to put a box around verse. All right? The next direction says to find any adjectives that you see in the sentence. You already put a box around the noun. So we're going to look back at the words that you have in a box, which the first one is boy. Do any words in this sentence tell about boy? And answer the question, what kind of boy or how many boys? Small tells what kind of boy, a small boy. So this is an adjective telling about boy. I don't have a lot of room for my arrow, so I'm going to kind of squish it in here. Okay, so small boy. All right, so our next word that's in the box, that's a noun, is verse. What kind of verse? Bible verse. So in this sentence, Bible is an adjective telling about verse. Now, your sentence is not split up like this in your book, so my arrow would be very strange in this sentence. I'll go ahead and do it, but yours isn't going to look like this. I wrote mine big so you could see it better. And also, I can't use my book because it already has all the answers in it. Okay, so let's move on to adverbs. So the way we find our adverb is to go back to our verb, which is said. And we're going to say, the boy said the Bible verse how? And then that would be perfectly. Remember, adverbs very often end in ly, and that kind of helps you to find them. Okay, so again, this is going to look strange with my arrow because of the way my sentence is, but what it's wanting you to do is to draw an arrow from perfectly pointing to said, because he said the verse perfectly. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next sentence. Straighten this. Okay, so the huge lion walked proudly. The first thing we're finding is the verb. What is the lion doing? He is walking. So we're going to underline walked 2 times. Then we have to find the subject. Who or what is the sentence about? The sentence is about the lion. So we're going to underline lion once. Then we're going to put a box around all the nouns we see in the sentence. Remember, nouns are a person, place, or thing. So, lion is an animal. It is definitely a noun. So we're going to put a box around lion. And that's actually it. There are no other nouns in this sentence, just our subject, which is lion. Okay, we're going to look for adjectives. So, since we only have 1 noun in the box, we're going to say what kind of lion or how many lions? And the answer is huge. That's what kind of lion. And we're going to draw an arrow pointing back to lion. So, huge tells about lion. All right, our last thing we have to do is see if there's any adverbs in this sentence. So, we're going to find our verb. which is walked, and we're going to say walked how? And the answer is proudly. So proudly, you will notice, has ly. Remember, when we're looking for adverbs, you can look and see if there's any words that have ly, and that can help you. And then you're going to draw an arrow pointing back to walked. He walked proudly. And our last sentence, says James and David built a red cart. The first thing we're going to find is our verb or our action word. What were they doing? They were building. So our action word is built, and we're going to underline it 2 times. Then we're going to find the subject. Who or what is this sentence about? Now, this is a little bit tricky. So, it's about James and David. But remember, a subject has to be a noun. So, we're going to underline James and David 1 time, but we're not going to do anything to and, because and is not a noun, so it can't be a subject. The next thing we're going to do is put a box around our nouns. So we know that James is a noun because he's a person. And we know that David is a noun because he's a person. Okay. And we should know that cart is a noun because it's a thing. All right. So, those are our nouns in the sentence, James, David, and cart. Now we're going to look for adjectives. So, you're going to look at the nouns that you just boxed, and you're going to see if you can find any words that tell about those nouns that answer the question, what kind or how many? So, what kind or how many James and David? Does that make sense? No, not really. So there are not any adjectives in this sentence that tell about James and David. So let's look at cart. What kind of cart? A red cart. So we're going to circle red. That's our adjective that tells about cart. And then we're going to draw an arrow pointing back at cart. What kind of cart? A red cart. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and move on to our adverb. All right. The way we find an adverb is to look at the verb, which is built. And we're going to say built how. Do you see any words in this sentence that tell how the cart was built? No, there are no adverbs in this sentence. Remember, there's always going to be a subject in your sentence, like James and David, and there's always going to be a verb in your sentence, like built. But there are not always adjectives or adverbs in every sentence. I hope that helped you guys a little bit with this page. If you have any other questions, just let me know. And I hope y'all have a great day. Good luck on your work.